Damage was all along Martin Luther King. A big car crash at high speed at Kings Highway that injured at least 2 people. And moments before that, the shootout at Hodemont and King, crashing into 2 cop cars and then a bicyclist run over twice by the suspect's pickup.
Some of the suspects that we deal with have no regard for officers, certainly, but as well as citizens that they endangered. And here's just a gentleman on a bicycle who was driven over twice and at one point was trapped under the vehicle. And here's a good-sized pickup truck, and the tires literally sitting on his chest, spinning as the suspect's trying to get away.
At last word, that bicyclist, we're told, is in critical condition tonight. No conditions released yet on the people who were injured in the car crashes. And again, the 3 people in that speeding pickup, 2 of them shot, the other injured from all those car crashes today. A completely wild scene out here live in West St. Louis. Matt Sesney, News 4.
Okay, thank you, Matt. You're looking at a confessed killer. Today, Alyssa Bustamante pled guilty to second-degree murder in the killing of her 9-year-old neighbor. Bustamante entered the plea as part of a deal with prosecutors in Cole County.
She had been facing life in prison, but second-degree murder, a lesser charge, only carries a punishment of up to 30 years. The parents of victim Elizabeth Alton were present today in the courtroom.
I think this is the appropriate charge. This is the charge that Alyssa took responsibility for.
Chilling testimony at the courthouse. The Alton family listened to Alyssa Bustamante's account of how and why she killed 9-year-old Elizabeth Alton. The 17-year-old spoke without emotion and described what she did in detail. Quote, "I strangled her and stabbed her in the chest," Bustamante said. The judge asked, "Did you cut her throat too?" She answered yes. Alton's mother sobbed as Bustamante then shared how she slashed the girl's throat. She said she wanted to know what it felt like to kill someone using her bare hands. Bustamante admitted she plotted to kill Alton, digging graves in the woods near her home.
Right now, all the public knows is the girl in the green jail jumpsuit and the Facebook pictures. That's all the public knows about her. She's a much more complex person.
9-year-old Alton disappeared in October of 2009 as she walked home from a visit to Bustamante's younger sister's home.
I would hope that the public will remember Elizabeth for who she was and not remember her for the crime that was committed upon her.
Bustamante will be back in court to be sentenced. A date has not yet been set. An unusual break-in at the Family Dollar store on Christie in South St. Louis. Well, someone smashed in the glass door, turned on the lights, and stole a couple of tubes of toothpaste. The only description police had for the suspect, a man dressed in all black.
An update to the brawl involving more than a dozen women and men in Delwood. News 4 was first to show you this violent video yesterday. You can see 2 police officers struggle to control the chaotic crowd. Several are facing charges. News 4's Mark Cox is in Delwood tonight, where one woman caught in that melee is pointing fingers at police. Mark.
That's right, Andre. In fact, she thinks Delwood police mishandled this from the start, because you'll remember this incident actually started on Sunday and carried over into Monday. Pamela Mullins supports the idea of county police taking over. She was at the county courts today seeking orders of protection. She says she was attacked Sunday and that police failed to arrest and detain her attackers. She says that led to the brawl yesterday. Police today confirmed 6 people are charged with 3rd-degree assault from that street fight, including Mullins and the 2 female neighbors she's upset with. The 2 officers on the scene were the only ones working Monday due to staff shortages here in Delwood.
Do you feel safe there?
No.
Is it because of the Delwood police?
Yes, yes. Because I've called them numerous of times. This really could have been stopped.
Officers were getting it under control. There happened to be 17 people, though, that they were having to deal with, and Ferguson was right there, too, as well.
Now, Ferguson and St. Louis County have both made bids on providing police protection here, but the board in Delwood is split evenly over which way to go. Now, right now, they're down to only 8 officers. That's half of their normal staff. And today, starting this morning, St. Louis County Police had to provide 4 officers, at least temporarily, to help patrol here during daylight hours. Reporting live in Delwood, Mark Cox, News 4.
Okay, Mark, some high-tech parking meters are soon coming to St. Louis City. They'll look something like this. The city has no timeline for adding the meters in Midtown, the Central West End, and Washington Avenue. There will be multi-space machines where you enter the number where you've parked and swipe a credit card, then buy whatever amount of time you want. You might have already seen these meters in Soulard or at the downtown Amtrak station.
The Rams are looking to improve their playing field and expect a proposal from officials at the Convention and Visitors Commission and upgrades at the Dome. Well, the deadline is in 3 weeks. And as News 4's Lindsey Bramson reports, the decision on improvements might not only affect the Rams' future in St. Louis, but also your pocketbook.
The St. Louis Convention and Visitors Commission must give the Rams a proposal by February 1st, but they don't have any plans on making that proposal public. Officials with the CVC refuse to comment on what they're willing to pay to keep the Rams in St. Louis. The team's lease requires the Dome be brought up to top tier every 10 years. In 2009, the Dome received new turf and new scoreboards. Total cost for improvements then was $30 million. Still not enough to put the team in the top 25% though. The Rams are the only team in the league without a parking garage. Some want to see the wireless availability in the Dome improved, as well as upgrades to luxury suites. I spoke with Randy Carricker with 101 ESPN earlier. He says if the CVC doesn't give the Rams what they really want, they're really gambling with the future of the team.
I'm not so sure that the CVC and the Rams know what the other is thinking at this stage, and that's kind of alarming. You would hope that these negotiations would have started a long time ago.
And 19 stadiums have been built nationwide since the Dome opened in 1995, all of them state-of-the-art facilities. Reporting downtown, I'm Lindsey Bramson, News 4.
Moving to politics, a pair of Republicans hoping to unseat U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill faced off in a radio debate this morning on KTRS. Former State Treasurer Sarah Steelman and Congressman Todd Akin traded verbal shots. Steelman attacked Akin as a Washington insider, but Akin fought back, stating he has a proven track record of fiscal conservative principles. We asked the candidates what sets them apart.
He's been in Washington 12 years. You know, he's calls himself a go-along, get-along Republican, and I am not a go-along, get-along Republican. I think the last thing we need in Washington, D.C. is another go-along, get-along anything.
And I just talk about what I have to offer, and that is a long, conservative, principled record. Conservative not in the sense of being a political conservative, but principled. And I have always tried to do that. Shoot honestly with people.
There's a third Republican primary candidate who did not show up for the debate. That's John Brunner, who runs Vijon.
One of the area's largest school districts is facing a multi-million-dollar deficit. Fort Zumwalt says cutbacks might be necessary to balance the budget. News 4's Brian Feldman talked to the superintendent to find out just how serious this problem is.
On July 1st, Fort Zumwalt anticipated a $500,000 deficit, while after having to add staff because of special education needs and receiving less money from the state than they thought, that number grew to $3 million pretty quickly. Superintendent Bernie Dubray says there is a foundation formula that all districts use to get money from the state. Not all are equal, depending on a variety of factors such as the number of students, the tax levy, etc. Fort Zumwalt gets around $50 million from it. But Dr. Dubray says the state has not been able to fund this formula the way it expected, and now it's receiving less money. He calls fixing this formula the biggest issue at Missouri's legislative session. It's caused revenue to go down significantly, leading to a massive deficit.
They were expecting additional money each year to make that formula work, but about 3 years ago, they did the expected level, and once that started happening, we started receiving less money.
Dr. Dubray also says they had to pay out more than $300,000 in sick leave reimbursements from teachers who retired. In Fort Zumwalt, you're allowed to cash in on your unused sick days. In St. Charles County, Brian Feldman, News 4.
All right, next at 6. First, it was a problem with apple juice. Now it's orange juice.
Dangerous chemicals have been found in some cartons, the step the FDA is taking to keep you safe.
Well, just in case you forgot what winter is like after our unusually mild weather so far in November and December and even early January, I'm out in Breckenridge, Colorado to give you the weather report for the next few days and also talk about the weather and climate summary. I'll have that for you coming up live from Breckenridge.
The 7-day forecast is sponsored by CarX. Don't worry, call the CarX man. No other subs come close to Penn Station East Coast subs. Fresh ingredients, grilled to order right in front of you and served sizzling hot, like the signature Philly cheesesteak made with 100% USDA choice steak for $3.99. Chicken subs, grilled fresh with tender all-white meat for $3.99. Or any of the fresh grilled Italian subs with hefty slices of aged provolone, just $3.99. Can't you just taste it? Get the grill thing. $3.99 for any 6-inch sub at Penn Station East Coast subs.
I think it's turning into crabgrass. I don't believe it. You'll never guess who's here. Yeah, I know. He's here right now. Should I take a picture? Is that weird? Sam, can you scoot you back just a tiny bit?
Sure.
A little more. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, I think I got Bradford in the picture, too.
Unbelievably reliable 2-hour appointment windows. Another way we're working to be St. Louis's next hometown superstar.
With a 2-year-old at home.
I have 2 daughters.
We have 5 boys and a large family.
I couldn't imagine not having AT&T Uverse.
Like if we're watching a movie in Mom's room and Mom doesn't want us in her room, so we just go in the living room and continue watching it.
Call to get AT&T Uverse for $29 a month for 6 months. DVR service and receiver included at no extra charge. Plus, get up to 182 channels with HBO and Cinemax free for 3 months.
If I need to pause something, as it happens.
Diaper.
He can start screaming, I can stop the show, and then pick it up on a different TV somewhere else in the house.
We can record Sesame Street for her, Boring Sports for him, and for me, The Real Housewives of Anything.
Call to get Uverse TV for only $29 a month for 6 months. DVR service and receiver included. Plus, get up to 182 channels with HBO and Cinemax free for 3 months. For the 4th year in a row, Uverse TV ranks highest in residential television service satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates.
Without Uverse, I think we'd be just a big mess.
You're watching News 4 in high definition.
Welcome back to News 4 at 6. A live look tonight from our River City Eye on St. Louis camera. Not a bad night out there, a little cool, but it's a bit colder where our buddy meteorologist Kent Earhart is. Breckenridge, Colorado.
Ken, tell us what you were doing in Breckenridge besides having fun.
Well, we are having fun. I will not lie to you. This is the 23rd annual Weather and Climate Summary being held now in Breckenridge, Colorado. And we learned a lot about advanced forecasting techniques and actually about seasonal forecasts today, oddly enough. And we may be seeing a change in the pattern that we've enjoyed so far this season, but we've certainly enjoyed what's going on out here in Breckenridge, Colorado, and have more on that in just a moment. But I want to show you what's going on back home because we have some changes on tap. And as we move down to the south, I'll show you the radar. You can see that low-pressure system down in Arkansas, with rain in Arkansas leading up into the Reynolds County area in our southern parts of our viewing area. We're going to call that system number 1. System number 2 is that cool front that you see off to our northwest. Both of those systems will be players in our weather over the next couple of days. Let's zoom in on the radar, and as I mentioned, the rain is moving out of Arkansas into southern Missouri and beginning to sneak its way into southern parts of our viewing area. But temperatures have been, as you know, incredibly mild for us. We made the upper 50s again today with a high of 58, generally in the upper 40s to near 50 degrees at this hour across the area. So any precipitation that does fall will fall as rain. So let's go to the super predictor. That really tells the tale on how this thing is going to play out. At 7 o'clock this evening, again, rain beginning to enter the southern part of the viewing area, and by midnight up to around the metropolitan St. Louis area and points south. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning will be at 37 degrees. Most of the rain east, some of it in the metro area, so still a chance of rain in the morning. But by noon, 48 degrees with the rain moving out of the area. 49 degrees at 5 o'clock in the evening. Should be a dry drive home. But we move forward to 2 a.m. tomorrow night, early Thursday morning. You can see a band of snow from system number 2, along with some cold air moving into the area, so that by the morning commute on Thursday, 28 degrees, some flurries, blustery, very windy weather coming, wind chills in the teens with temperatures in the 30s, and that's a pattern we're going to have for a couple of days. Just the flurries on Thursday morning, but the cold and wind stays with us. So 52 tomorrow in your 7-day forecast. A little rain mainly in the morning. Thursday's high only 30 after a morning low in the upper 20s, so temperatures really don't go anywhere, but blustery conditions. By Friday, a high of 30 degrees, but a dry day, still windy. Saturday and Sunday, we warm up a little bit, close to normal, right around the 40-degree mark. 39 on Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Monday's high 47 for observance of the Martin Luther King Day, and the mid-40s on Tuesday. Well, the Snowcats are hard at work on the lower portion of Breckenridge here, and it's a beautiful evening. 3 crazies from the resort just came running out in their underwear and jogged around the whole bottom area here, barefooted in their underwear in the snow. And I thought I'd have a chance, since we haven't had any snow. I think I'm premiering these special storm mode stocking caps that we'll all have this year if we ever do get any snow back home. And I sense we will, because one of the things we talked about today in our session was that we are looking at some cold air beginning to build over Western Canada, and that may be headed our way over the next few weeks.
All right, Ken, thank you very
you.
much. Reporting live from Breckenridge, Colorado. Chemicals to kill fungus have recently been found in many juice cartons in other countries, and because of that, the FDA is now stepping up testing for fungicides. The FDA says it's not too concerned about the safety of the juice, but it says it will increase testing to make sure that there is not a contamination problem.
And coming up next at 6, you know those green cleaning products. Do you ever wonder who makes them and sends them out? Missourians, why it's providing jobs for the state and doing much more.
It's Tuesday. We're closed.
By the look of those heels, she is definitely into him. Almost as much as the classic lobster ravioli. Very delicious. It's something new, something classic. On the new menu at Romano's Macaroni Grill.
You followed a big dream with no guarantees and found big opportunity, even in tough times. They may call your business small, but you've never done bigger things. Charter Business offers reliable internet, phone, and TV solutions to power your success. And right now, you can save up to 40% by bundling Charter Business services. Plus, get free installation. Call now to help your business do bigger things.
Hardwood, 70% off. Laminate, 70% off. Ceramic, 70% off. During Empire's huge winter warehouse sale. Save big on the quality flooring you've been wanting and the great service you'd expect, with warranties up to 30 years and installed next day. Don't miss your chance to save 70% on the good stuff. But hurry, Empire's huge winter warehouse sale won't last long. Call today.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
So our guests really love playing the newest and most popular slots here at Ameristar.
And with more new games every 90 days, new never gets old.
Any other ideas?
Yes, here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blackjack 5000.
No robo-dealers, just the newest and most popular slots, like Fire of the East, Rise of the Incas, and Hooray for Honeywood. Now at Ameristar, more fun.
Don't miss Crown Vision Center's winter eyeglass sale. Crown's new promotion is just what you need for a new look. For a limited time only, you get a complete pair of eyeglasses for just $99. Whether you need single vision or no-line bifocals, you pay only $99. Hundreds of frames to choose from, including all frames up to $169 and many other designer brands to choose from. Take home a new pair of eyeglasses for only $99. Call 1-800-EYECARE or visit crownvisioncenter.com to schedule your eye exam today. Crown Vision Center, we're in your neighborhood.
Look at that. The new fresh pasta carbonara. He'll be thinking about that poached egg all night. And about her. But mostly about the carbonara. It's something new, something classic. On the new menu at Romano's Macaroni Grill.
Welcome back, everyone. Green cleaning products are made for the military right here in St. Louis, but most of the workers are blind. News 4's Kristen Cornett takes us behind the scenes at this unique company.
About 92% of our direct labor force are legally blind, and that is our core mission, is employing people that are blind.
St. Louis's Lighthouse for the Blind makes lots of products, but these two got my attention. Power Green is a bio-based all-purpose cleaner, and this is a bio-based liquid hand soap. The military has asked for products that are bio-based to promote the purchase of American renewable resources like corn and soybeans, but also to reduce the use of petroleum. The products are actually developed here with a lab on site. They are made, warehoused, and distributed all at the Berkeley plant in St. Louis County. You wouldn't know it, but production supervisor Elton Thomas is legally blind. But he's proud that this job makes him more self-sufficient.
Those blind people that get that paycheck, they don't have to rely on the government as much as other blind people. And two, the money we make goes towards programs that supplement government programs.
It's the epitome of a win-win situation where by making products, selling them at a profit, We use the profits to then support other people throughout the state of Missouri that are blind that need assistance in other ways.
For Tips on Going Green, I'm Kristen Cornett, News 4.
Jeff Fisher still mulling offers from both the Rams and the Dolphins. Where should the Rams turn if Fisher turns them down? Randy Carricker and I will discuss that next. And we'll also remember very fondly the former colorful general manager of the St. Louis Blues, Ron Caron, who passed away last night. That's next in sports.
Here's tonight's primetime lineup on KMOV Channel 4. Sponsored by Auto House BMW. You'll never pay more for the Auto House experience.
You can't choose your family. You can't choose the weather. Oh, whoa. You can't even choose your coworkers. Oh, just kidding. I love those guys. But you can choose who wins a People's Choice Award. Who's going to win? It's all up to you. Oh, thank you.
Kaylee Cuoco hosts your favorites in TV, movies, and music. Faith Hill performs live at the People's Choice Awards. CBS Wednesday, 9/8 Central.
There are many joys that come with owning the new Civic. There's the joy of getting 39 mpg highway, the joy of great safety features, and one of the best resale values in the industry. But the biggest joy is getting all of that for a joyously lower price. Get the perfect Civic for the perfect price right now at your Honda dealer.
It's almost impossible to choose the right kitchen and bath components at a warehouse retailer. And if their prices aren't any lower, what's the point? I'm Megan Biddle for RSI Kitchen and Bath. RSI's dazzling showroom is full of great ideas with quality cabinetry, premium appliances, tile, fixtures, and prices as good as any warehouse retailer. Our experienced designers help you decide from value line to stunning designer styles. You don't have to compromise quality for price at RSI Kitchen and Bath, Manchester Road and Lake St. Louis.
There's no better way to see the USA than in an RV. Find the RV that is right for you and your family at the St. Louis RV Vacation and Travel Show, America Center, downtown St. Louis, January 13th through the 15th.
My name is Roger Stump, and I'm a cancer survivor. The surgeon said it's inoperable. It's already in your liver. My wife Brenda sat there and cried, and I'm thinking, I can't die right now. I'm only 52 years old. I was so distraught. I've heard Cancer Treatment Centers of America had experience with pancreatic cancers. It was like night and day. The hospital just breeds an environment of hope. You'd get a CT scan, and the next morning, the results were read to you. We'd go up there. I just knew it was going to be a good result. You could just see the joy on Dr. Granick's face.
Call now and we'll show you how the most compassionate people anywhere put you at the center of everything we do. Together, we'll explore real treatment options you may not even know exist.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is such a different place because they give you hope. I would strongly urge you to call them and get a second opinion.
Please call today.
Well, the Rams are still awaiting a decision from Jeff Fisher. Meanwhile, they are interviewing general manager candidates, and they have an interview scheduled on Thursday with Denver Broncos defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. That is, of course, unless Fisher accepts the job between now and then. 101 ESPN's Randy Carricker, co-host of the Fast Lane, believes strongly that the Rams should be talking only with experienced head coaches.
And it's because of this disastrous situation. If this were a situation similar to what Green Bay had, where they had a level of playoff success before they hired Mike McCarthy, or in Pittsburgh where they had won a Super Bowl the year before, then it's different. But when you're taking over a disaster, I think you have to have a real knowledge of how to go about building a game plan. And experienced guys have that, and coordinators generally don't.
I don't know that I can argue with you. I don't know if it's the only way I'd go, but I think you make a good point. And a guy like Marty Schottenheimer's interviewing with Tampa Bay, you brought him up yesterday in the Fast Lane. This is a guy that specializes in turnarounds.
He does. And by the way, I'm not completely married to that idea,
right.
But somebody has to be exceptionally strong, whether it's the coach or in the situation like Miami. When they win 1 in 15, they hire Bill Parcells to oversee their football operation. You need to have a strong, experienced football leader somewhere.
All right, Bama bludgeons LSU last night in the national championship game. I'm not surprised that Alabama was the best team. And Randy, I've watched college football like you have for, we're close to 50 now, right. So for a lot of years. I think it's the best defense for 1 year I've ever seen in college football.
I can't disagree at all. What they were able to accomplish. I mean, you talk about in college football, you've got more than 100 teams. You went #1 in scoring defense, #1 in pass defense, #1 in rush defense, #1 in total defense, and you turned in a transcendent performance in the championship game against the #1 team, and they don't even get 100 yards. There has never been a college defense that's been as good as a unit as this group.
With you, I'm always careful to make comparisons to Bill Belichick, your favorite,
yeah, my favorite person.